without wasting much time, let's look at the next question. What were the biggest cultural or clinical shock you experienced when you arrived the UK?
Yeah, this question is something, but I have a lot to say, but I would still try to make it very brief and precise.
Yeah, please.
I had a lot of shocks. I had a lot of
Okay.
shocks. First, it was my first time of ever traveling out of the country, you know, and I didn't know what it was like meeting other people. So the first time I landed during the peak of winter. So the first thing was the cold was something else I've never experienced. I felt like, cold can really, I felt like I'm going to die, you know, because of the cold. I don't like
Yeah.
cold at all. So it was a big shock. That one would be like an environmental shock per se. So I
Wow. Wow.
I never believed that there could be that cold like that. So
That level
even
of
what people were
code.
describing, I never understood it until I experienced it by myself. So that was the first
Okay.
shock I had. Then the second shock
Okay.
was around, trying to be, I practiced in the western part of Nigeria for a long time.
Yeah.
And there is this culture of if you see your elder, you greet on the road, then you see people on the road, you greet. So I was used to doing that. So,
Exactly.
but while I arrived and I was greeting everywhere, people were looking at me like, where is it coming from? I could see that look, good morning, no
Yeah.
response. And so it was a shock to me. Like, so
Hmm.
nobody.
Hmm.
Then I noticed that everybody seemed to be very fast. It was a fast-paced environment. Everybody was just moving,
Yeah.
no one talking
Yeah.
to each other. I struggled to really find my way around the platforms in the train and all. It was not easy for me. I was struggling and
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
eventually I now moved and said, okay, I learned that anyone I see who is on a uniform, and I will say, okay, this is the likely person that's going to approach, because you want to approach a random person, they will look at you somehow. But
Exactly.
yes, and I approached them and they started helping me. So I started seeing that. I have never seen also another shock was like, standing by the roadside and you want to
Yeah.
take bus. So I would usually to stand on the roadside where Nigeria we drive like a right hand drive, left hand drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have to stand somehow, you are sort of standing by the right or something like that. But here
Yes.
it's
Yes.
difficult
Yes.
for me. So that was another cultural shock. And I was coming in to do a community role initially.
Yeah. More
So it
challenging.
was a big challenge for me in the driving aspect. Another cultural
Wow.
shock, or I would say cultural shock, I would say now communication issues was that, of course, I trained and I know how to speak English, but coming
Yeah.
in and the accent was so different. They were struggling to hear
Yeah.
me. I was struggling to hear them. So it was,
Hear them. Yeah.
very fast. So the first 3 weeks I was struggling. I had to meet my line manager then to say, please, can you slow down a bit with your accents in the team and help me discuss with the team members and see if they can slow down,
Yeah.
because I don't want to miss out on anything that has been said. So with
Yeah.
time, I began to understand what was happening. Another cultural
Wow.
shock that I had was like, someone took me out and we said we're going for a party. And,
Okay.
when we went for the party, I was like, you are doing your send forth party. You invited us for crying out loud. And we were
Okay.
served a lot of things we were eating afterwards. They said, everybody bring out your card and tap. We are paying for your meal. I was like, what is this? This is not what I'm used to. I'm used to coming to free parties where you come and
Free
eat.
parties, of
And it's
course.
yes, exactly. And have takeaways that you can take. But here I have to pay.
Yeah.
Thank God I still had something in my account then, because this was just barely like 1 month into my coming in then.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of cultural shock. Let me just stop here for now because there are a lot of things to say, really.
Man, I think you are very wrong with your cultural shock. Like, I think it happens to everyone, especially the last one you shared. People will invite you to a birthday party, and you think when you get to the restaurant, they will shut down. You will not know that you will shut down for yourself, basically.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
crazy. It's crazy. Okay, it's going really well.